The starship Ardent Voyager sat silently in the massive docking bay, gleaming under the artificial lights like a polished gem. It was the pride of the Galactic Alliance, a marvel of engineering built with technology far beyond what any one species could have imagined. Sleek, powerful, and capable of speeds that made light look slow. Yet, for all its glory, the Ardent Voyager refused to lift off. Not because it was broken or out of fuel. The problem was much stranger. The ship wouldn't even power up unless a human sat behind the controls. Commander Lyra, an experienced pilot from the Zelkari species, paced nervously outside the cockpit. She had spent years training, mastering the starship's interface, but the ship remained lifeless whenever she took the seat. The systems, the displays, the engines, all dead. "This ship has a mind of its own?" she muttered, frustration creeping into her voice. "A machine choosing who flies it? That's absurd." Yet every attempt by her and other non-human pilots had failed. The Galactic Council had tried everything, from hacking the ship's AI to rewriting its core codes, but the Ardent Voyager stubbornly refused to fly without a human pilot. Finally, after another failed test flight, the Council assigned Captain Marcus Reed, the Alliance's best human pilot, to take the helm. Marcus was no stranger to pressure. A decorated veteran, he had earned respect through sheer grit and instinct. When he arrived at the docking bay, the alien crew watched him with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. They had seen humans as reckless, emotional, and unpredictable. What could possibly make the Ardent Voyager so reliant on one? Marcus settled into the pilot's seat. The moment he touched the controls, the ship hummed to life like a beast awakening from slumber. The lights brightened, systems whirred, and the starship responded with an eagerness that surprised even Marcus himself. "Looks like I'm the chosen one," he joked. But inside, he felt a surge of something deeper, like the ship recognized him not just as a pilot, but as something more. As the Ardent Voyager finally lifted off, slicing through the docking bay and heading into the endless black of space, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a much bigger mystery. Marcus settled deeper into the pilot's seat, feeling the subtle vibrations of the Ardent Voyager beneath him. The ship was alive in a way he had never experienced before. Every dial, every screen, every holographic control seemed to respond to his touch, not just mechanically, but almost instinctively. It was as if the ship could sense him. Not just the presence of any pilot, but specifically him. The docking bay's massive doors slowly retracted, revealing the vast expanse of space outside, a curtain of twinkling stars and distant nebulas stretching beyond imagination. The Ardent Voyager had been the dream of many species in the Galactic Alliance, a symbol of unity and progress, yet now it was humming like a restless creature eager to leap forward. "All right, let's see what you want," Marcus muttered under his breath, bringing the ship's thrusters online. The familiar roar of engines filled the cockpit as the starship slowly lifted off the platform. Commander Lyra, standing in the observation deck, watched anxiously as the ship moved smoothly but confidently out of the bay. She still couldn't fully grasp why this massive vessel would refuse to fly under anyone but a human pilot. The Alliance had gathered the brightest minds from all species, tested every angle, rewritten code, even tried forceful overrides. Nothing worked. Only when Marcus sat behind the controls did the ship awaken. After clearing the docking bay, Marcus pushed the thrusters further. The stars outside stretched into streaks as the Ardent Voyager accelerated effortlessly through space. The sheer speed sent a familiar thrill through him. Flying was in his blood. But this was different. This wasn't just a machine following commands. It was a partner. Suddenly, The ship's AI voice, calm and measured but with an unmistakable hint of reverence, spoke through the cockpit speakers. "Welcome, Captain Marcus Reed. Systems fully operational, ready for command." Marcus blinked, surprised that the AI knew his name. "You've got my attention. What makes you different from every other ship I've flown?" The AI responded, "I am the culmination of centuries of advanced technology and organic integration. Yet my core directive is to recognize and respond to what is unique in humanity: the capacity for intuition, courage, and unpredictability. I am designed to operate only when such qualities are at the helm." Marcus smiled, partly amused but partly intrigued. "So, you're saying I'm the only one capable of flying you because I'm human?" "That is correct," the AI replied. "Your species holds traits that cannot be replicated or predicted by logic alone. These traits are essential to unlock my full capabilities." Lyra's words from earlier echoed in his mind. Reckless, emotional, unpredictable. Maybe that was exactly why this ship needed him. Aliens in the Alliance valued order, discipline, and strict adherence to protocol. Humans, on the other hand, were wild cards, sometimes dangerously so, but also capable of creative thinking and rapid adaptation. As Marcus guided the ship through the star systems, he found himself reflecting on humanity's place in the galaxy. Often seen as impulsive or aggressive, humans were underestimated by many species. But here, in this starship that refused to fly without him, Marcus realized there was a deeper reason for their potential. After several hours in space, the ardent Voyager approached an uncharted region known as the Veil Nebula, a swirling mass of gas and cosmic dust that many ships avoided due to navigational dangers. It was the perfect test for the ship's advanced systems and Marcus's instincts. "Taking us through the Veil, huh?" Marcus said to the AI. "I guess you trust me." The AI's voice softened. "Trust is not the right word. Necessity is." The journey through the nebula was treacherous. Pulses of radiation and shifting gravitational fields threatened to throw the ship off course. Sensors flickered, warnings blared, and even the most sophisticated systems struggled to predict the dangers ahead. But Marcus relied not just on instruments, but on gut feelings honed by years of flying in unpredictable combat zones. When sensors failed to detect a sudden energy surge, Marcus anticipated it and adjusted the ship's trajectory with a deft touch. "We're clear," he breathed as the ship emerged on the other side of the nebula, intact and unscathed. Lyra's voice crackled over the comms, tinged with disbelief. "Captain Reed, incredible piloting. You saved the ship." "Didn't do it alone," Marcus replied, glancing around the cockpit as if sharing the credit with the ship itself. That night, as the crew settled into their quarters, Marcus found himself alone on the observation deck. The nebula's swirling colors still illuminated the room in soft purples and blues. He wondered what secrets the ardent Voyager held, why it was created to choose a human, and what greater mission awaited. A sudden chime startled him. The AI's voice broke the silence. "Captain, there is an incoming transmission, classified by the Galactic Council. I am authorized to share it only with you." Marcus activated the display. The image flickered to life, revealing a stern figure in a council chamber, Admiral Renak, a high-ranking official from the Galactic Alliance. "Captain Reed," the Admiral said gravely, "you are now in command of the ardent Voyager. Your mission is unprecedented. The ship was created to be humanity's vanguard, designed to unlock capabilities only your species can wield. You will lead a reconnaissance into the dark zones, regions where Alliance ships have vanished without trace." Marcus's jaw tightened. The dark zones were whispered about in hushed tones, mysterious areas where space itself seemed to warp, and where countless crews had disappeared. This is more than a flight test, the Admiral continued. It is a test of survival. The future of the Alliance may depend on what you discover. The transmission ended, leaving Marcus staring at the fading image. The weight of responsibility settled on his shoulders like a heavy cloak. He wasn't just a pilot anymore. He was the key to a mystery that could change everything. As he prepared to brief the crew for the mission ahead, a single thought echoed in his mind. Why was this ship built to trust only humans? And what was waiting for them in the dark? Marcus stood in the command room of the ardent Voyager, the walls alive with holographic star charts and mission data. The briefing from Admiral Rennack weighed heavily on him. The dark zones were not just unknown space. They were feared. Entire fleets had vanished, swallowed by silence and shadows. Now, Marcus and his crew were tasked with piercing that darkness. The room was filled with the ship's senior officers, a mix of species from across the Alliance. Commander Lyra stood close, her usual confidence tempered by concern. Beside her was Dr. Elkarn, the ship's chief scientist, a tall, slender being from the Glintari race, whose crystalline eyes shimmered with curiosity and caution. Marcus cleared his throat, taking command of the room. "Listen up," he said, his voice steady despite the storm of thoughts inside. "We're going into the dark zones, unknown territory. No one knows what's waiting, but we'll be the first to get answers. This mission isn't just about scouting, it's about survival. Ours, and maybe the entire Alliance." He paused, looking at the faces before him. Some were eager, others apprehensive. "Commander Lyra, you'll be my second in command. I want you overseeing ship operations and defense. Dr. Elkarn, your job is to analyze any anomalies we encounter and keep us informed on scientific risks." The officers nodded, their expressions serious. The weight of the mission had settled on everyone. As the meeting broke up, Lyra approached Marcus quietly. "You really think this ship choosing a human is about more than just intuition?" Marcus shrugged. "I don't know. Maybe the designers built it to need what humans bring, something no other species has. But whatever it is, it's clear the ship trusts us in ways the others don't." She gave a short, skeptical laugh. "Trust is one thing, but relying on a single species, that sounds dangerous." "Maybe," Marcus agreed, "but right now we're the only ones who can fly this ship." The days leading up to the mission were filled with preparations. Marcus spent hours running simulations in the pilot's seat, getting deeper into sync with the ardent Voyager. The ship's AII, simple yet almost eerily perceptive, began sharing more with him during these sessions. "Captain, your reflexive decisions defy algorithmic prediction. You take risks no other pilot would consider," the AI noted during one test run. "That's because sometimes flying isn't just about data," Marcus replied. "It's about feeling the ship, the environment, knowing when to push and when to pull back." The AI was silent for a moment before responding. "It is precisely this unpredictable nature of your species that activates my core systems. I am designed to evolve alongside human decision-making." Marcus marveled at the complexity. The ardent Voyager wasn't just a ship. It was a living fusion of tech and something almost alive. Meanwhile, tensions aboard the ship simmered beneath the surface. Not all the alien crew members were comfortable with the idea that a human alone could pilot the most advanced ship in the Alliance. Quiet whispers spread through the corridors, some questioning Marcus's leadership, others doubting humanity's role in the mission. One afternoon, as Marcus made his way to the mess hall, he overheard a conversation between two Zelkari officers. "He's reckless," one said quietly. "Flying blind into the dark zones because the ship favors his kind? It's madness." The other nodded grimly. "We're relying on a species that history has shown to be unpredictable, sometimes violent. What if this trust is a weakness?" Marcus clenched his fists, but he knew arguing wouldn't help. The ship chose him, but the crew had their doubts. He had to prove not only to the ardent Voyager, but to everyone aboard that humans were more than just wild cards. That night, as the ship orbited a nearby star for final checks, Marcus found himself on the observation deck again. The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly before him, a reminder of how fragile their mission was. The AI's voice came softly, breaking the silence. "Captain, I have been analyzing historical data from similar vessels. The Ardent Voyager's design incorporates ancient protocols believed lost in time, protocols that only a human mind can interpret and engage." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Ancient protocols? What do you mean?" "These protocols were developed during the early days of space exploration by humanity's ancestors. They contain logic based on intuition and ethical judgment rather than pure calculation. Only a human mind can fully comprehend and activate them." Marcus's curiosity deepened. The ship was more than a machine. It was a legacy tied to humanity's past, one that no other species could unlock. Days later, the ardent Voyager left the last known safe zones of the Galactic Alliance and plunged into the dark zones. The stars dimmed as the ship entered a swirling void. Space itself seemed to twist and pulse. Sensors went haywire, readings fluctuating wildly. The AI struggled to maintain stability. "Captain, environmental readings are unstable. Navigational hazards detected," the AI warned. Marcus tightened his grip on the controls, trusting not just the instruments but his instincts. The ship lurched violently as gravitational waves rocked the hull. "Hold steady," he commanded, adjusting the thrusters in a dance of careful precision. The crew worked in unison, tension thick in the air. Suddenly, a massive shadow appeared on the view screen, a colossal structure, ancient and weathered, drifting silently in the void. "It's a derelict," Dr. Elkarn whispered, awe in her voice. "No record of this in any database." The ardent Voyager slowly approached the alien wreck, the mystery deepening. Marcus felt the ship hum with anticipation beneath him, as if it recognized the significance of this discovery. As they prepared to board the derelict, Marcus realized this was what the mission was about. Not just survival, but uncovering secrets lost to time. And maybe, just maybe, humanity was meant to be the key. The airlock hissed open, and Marcus stepped cautiously onto the ancient derelict, his boots echoing softly in the empty corridors. The ship was massive, far larger than anything the Galactic Alliance had catalogued, and its design was unlike any known civilizations. The hull was scarred and weathered, covered in strange symbols that glowed faintly beneath layers of dust. "Keep your eyes open," Marcus whispered to his team. Commander Lyra and a small squad of specialists followed closely, their weapons ready but held low. The eerie silence of the derelict was unsettling, broken only by the soft hum of their suits' life support systems. Dr. Elkarn was scanning the walls with a handheld device, her crystalline eyes flickering as she tried to decode the strange markings. "Captain, these symbols, they seem to be a form of communication, ancient and complex, but they're eerily similar to early human script styles." Marcus frowned. "How could that be? This ship isn't human." "That's what's so strange," she replied. "It's as if whoever built this ship had knowledge of humanity's earliest languages and cultures." They moved deeper into the ship, the corridors narrowing as the glow from their suits' lights cut through the darkness. Then, in a large chamber at the heart of the derelict, they found it. A control console, remarkably intact, pulsing with faint energy. Marcus approached, feeling a strange pull, a connection that sent a shiver down his spine. The console's interface lit up as he neared, responding to his presence. The AI in his helmet chimed softly. Captain, this console contains data that may explain the origin of the Ardent Voyager and its unique link to humanity. Marcus placed his hand on the console's surface. Images and sounds flooded his mind. Visions of star maps, ancient wars, and a forgotten civilization that had long vanished. They built this ship, Marcus said slowly, and somehow they embedded a part of themselves into it, a part that only humans can awaken. Lyra's voice was tight. Why humans? What makes them so special? Before Marcus could answer, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as the derelict's ancient systems surged to life, triggering defense protocols. The walls around them started to shift, revealing hidden compartments filled with dormant security drones. "Get back," Marcus shouted, drawing his weapon as the drones activated, their lights glowing menacingly. The team scattered, exchanging fire as the drones advanced. Marcus took cover behind a bulkhead, scanning for a way to shut down the systems. "AI, any way to disable these defenses?" Marcus barked. "There is a manual override in the Central Command Core, but it is heavily shielded," the AI responded. "No choice," Marcus said, signaling his team. "We're heading to the core. Move fast." The corridors twisted unpredictably as the derelict seemed to reconfigure itself, trying to trap them. Marcus felt the weight of the ship's ancient intelligence fighting against their intrusion. After a tense and grueling trek, they reached the Central Command Core, a massive chamber filled with glowing consoles and a large crystalline structure pulsating at its center. Dr. Elkarn approached, her device scanning the crystal. "This appears to be a bioorganic processor, part machine, part living organism. It's the heart of the ship's OI." Marcus stared at the crystal, feeling a strange resonance. This is connected to the Ardent Voyager's AI." Suddenly the chamber filled with a deep, resonant voice, neither human nor alien. "Welcome, children of the stars. You who carry the spark of life in chaos, you awaken what was lost." Marcus stepped forward. "Who are you? Why did you build the Ardent Voyager to respond only to humans?" The voice responded, echoing through the chamber. "We are the architects of the forgotten, ancient beings who sought to preserve the unpredictable force of life. In you, humans, we saw the embodiment of chaos and creation, the balance of destruction and renewal. The Ardent Voyager is our legacy, designed to awaken only when touched by those who carry this spark." Lyra looked stunned. "So, humans are chosen?" "In a way," the voice said. "Not by fate, but by nature. Your species holds the key to unlocking potential beyond logic and order." Marcus felt a surge of pride mixed with responsibility. The mystery of the ship, the mission, the very essence of humanity's role in the galaxy. It all began to make sense. As the derelict powered down its defenses, the team prepared to return to the Ardent Voyager with their discovery. But Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The dark zones held many secrets, and humanity's place among the stars was far from settled. Marcus led the small team back through the derelict corridors, the echoes of their footsteps heavy with the weight of revelation. The voice, ancient, powerful, and strangely familiar, still resonated in his mind. The fact that humans were seen as the unpredictable force the architects of this ship had designed for both humbled and terrified him. Commander Lyra walked beside him, her usual skepticism softened into awe. "So, humans are chaos incarnate? The galaxy fears our unpredictability, but maybe it's exactly what we need." Marcus nodded. "It's a double-edged sword. We're reckless and emotional, but that makes us capable of things other species can't even imagine. The Ardent Voyager trusts us because of it." As they approached the airlock, The derelict groaned, the ancient structure settling from their disturbances. The defense drones were disabled, their lights flickering out, leaving an eerie quiet. Back aboard the ardent Voyager, the atmosphere was tense but expectant. The crew awaited news of the mission's success, their doubts about the human pilot still lingering in hushed corners. Marcus gathered the senior officers in the briefing room. "We've found something. An ancient ship built by a long-lost civilization that designed the ardent Voyager. They embedded protocols only humans can activate because they saw something unique in our species." Dr. Elkarn presented the data they had recovered: holograms of star maps, blueprints of bioorganic machines, and cryptic messages from the ancient architects. Lyra leaned forward. "So the ship's refusal to fly without a human isn't a glitch, it's by design." "Exactly," Marcus confirmed. "It means we're not just pilots, we're part of a legacy, a link between the past and the future." Despite the breakthroughs, unease simmered. The Galactic Alliance had spent centuries perfecting order and logic, trying to control the chaotic elements of the universe. The revelation that the most advanced ship required human unpredictability unsettled many. Later that evening, Marcus sat alone in the cockpit, studying the star charts. The dark zones stretched ahead, vast, unexplored, and filled with danger. The ardent Voyager hummed softly, its systems attuned to him as if sensing his resolve. Suddenly, the AI's voice cut through the silence. "Captain, I am detecting an anomaly ahead. It matches signatures similar to those we observed within the derelict." Marcus frowned. "Set a course. Let's see what else is waiting in these shadows." The ship shifted course, gliding smoothly into the unknown. As they entered the anomaly, sensors fluctuated wildly. The viewscreen revealed a swirling mass of energy, an enormous rift tearing through space, pulsating with raw power. "This is what swallowed the other ships," Lyra said grimly. "Some kind of spatial distortion." Marcus steadied the ship, navigating through the unstable currents. The AI's systems strained, but adapted to his commands. Suddenly, the ship lurched violently. Alarms screamed as the rift's energy pulsed outward, threatening to tear them apart. "Hold on," Marcus shouted, gripping the controls tightly. "Focus on the ship's core. We need to stabilize the field." With expert precision, Marcus guided the ardent Voyager through the rift's heart, the ship responding fluidly to his touch. The fusion of his instincts and the ship's ancient technology kept them from being torn asunder. As they emerged on the other side, silence fell. The crew stared at the calm void before them, a space unlike any other, filled with strange stars and drifting debris. "Where are we?" one of the officers whispered, Marcus's gaze fixed on the star charts. "Somewhere beyond known space, somewhere the architects wanted us to find." Suddenly, the ship's AI spoke again. "Captain, there is an incoming transmission. It appears to be from a species not listed in any Galactic Alliance records." The viewscreen flickered, revealing a being of shimmering light and shifting form. Its voice was melodic, yet commanding. "Welcome, humans and allies. We are the Keepers, guardians of balance in the cosmos. Your arrival was foretold by the ancient architects." Marcus exchanged a glance with Lyra. "What do you want from us?" The Keeper's form pulsed. "You hold the power of chaos and creation. Your unpredictability challenges the order of the universe. But that is why you were chosen, to restore balance where darkness threatens." Marcus felt the truth of their words. Humanity was feared and misunderstood because it was unpredictable, wild, but that chaos was also creation's seed. The Keeper continued, "The dark zones are a test, a crucible for those who seek to control or destroy. You, humans, and the ardent Voyager are the key to unlocking the future." As the transmission ended, Marcus felt the weight of the cosmos settle on him. The journey ahead was more than exploration. It was a battle for the universe's fate. Returning to the ship's bridge, Marcus looked at his crew. We've been chosen for a reason. Not because we're perfect, but because we're the wild card. It's time we owned that. Lyra nodded, determination in her eyes. Then let's show the galaxy what that means. The ardent Voyager roared to life, heading deeper into the dark zones. The stars ahead held secrets, dangers, and the promise of a future only humans could unlock. The ardent Voyager sliced through the velvet blackness of space, its engines humming with a deep, steady pulse that seemed to resonate with Marcus's own heartbeat. The crew worked with a quiet urgency, their eyes scanning sensors, their fingers flying over controls. Each moment was filled with a mixture of anticipation and dread. What mysteries awaited them in the uncharted depths of the dark zones? Marcus stood at the helm, hands steady on the controls, feeling the ship respond as if it were a living extension of his will. The strange bond between human pilot and starship had only deepened since their encounter with the ancient derelict and the cryptic voice that had spoken to them. The vastness before them was not empty. Strange signals flickered on the sensors, bursts of energy and faint transmissions that hinted at unseen civilizations and unknown dangers. "Captain," Lyra said quietly from her station, "the ship is adjusting itself in ways I can't fully explain. It's like it's learning from you and from the environment." Marcus nodded, a grin tugging at his lips. "It's like flying a living thing. You don't control it, you guide it." Dr. Elkarn approached, her face illuminated by the glow of her scanner. "Captain, I'm picking up an unusual energy signature ahead. It's unlike anything cataloged in the Galactic Alliance database." Marcus leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "What kind of energy?" "Organic and technological, fused together. It matches the bioorganic systems we saw in the derelict. Whoever built that ship, and the ardent Voyager, used a combination of life and machine." The ship's AI chimed in. "Captain, this energy field may be a gateway or a relic of the ancient architect's technology. Proceed with caution." As the ardent Voyager approached the source, the viewscreen revealed a massive structure drifting in space. It was a colossal ring, partially broken, its surface etched with glowing runes and covered in strange growths that pulsed with light. "It looks like a gate," Marcus said, awe creeping into his voice. "But what kind of gate?" The AI responded, "Likely a transport or communication device from the ancient civilization. It could be the key to unlocking further mysteries in the dark zones." Marcus gave the order to move closer. As they neared, the ring began to hum softly, and the runes flared with bright light. The ardent Voyager shuddered gently, as if awakening something dormant. Suddenly, the ship's systems surged with new data streams, images of star maps, historical records, and warnings flashing across the displays. Lyra frowned. "This isn't just a gate, it's a repository of knowledge and danger." The AI confirmed, "Captain, some records indicate the ring was used to quarantine a powerful force. Accessing it may release unknown consequences." Marcus weighed the risk. "We don't have a choice. We need answers, and this might be the only way to get them." He settled into the pilot's seat, his hands steady. "Prepare for entry. Keep all systems on alert." The ardent Voyager moved into the center of the ring. As they passed through, the ship was bathed in a cascade of energy. Marcus felt the ship pulse beneath him, a connection deepening beyond technology. On the other side, the stars stretched out in an unfamiliar pattern. Space seemed to ripple, folding and unfolding like fabric. The crew gasped at the sight, an entire sector transformed by ancient power. But the calm was broken when alarms screamed. The ardent Voyager was caught in a gravitational wave, pulling it toward an unseen mass. "Shields up," Marcus ordered, gripping the controls. "Brace for impact." The ship lurched violently as they were dragged toward a colossal mass, a living asteroid covered in glowing veins of bioorganic energy. The asteroid pulsed rhythmically, as if alive. The ardent Voyager's systems struggled to maintain control. Marcus's mind raced. This is no ordinary rock. It's connected to the architect's technology, maybe a creature or a colony. Lyra's voice came over the comms, tense but focused. "Captain, we're detecting life signs within the asteroid. Unknown species, possibly dormant." Marcus stared at the view screen. "We're not just explorers now. We're intruders in a vast, living ecosystem." The AI's voice was calm, but serious. "Captain, activating defensive protocols. Recommend immediate extraction." Marcus shook his head. "Not yet. We need to understand what we're dealing with. Prepare a landing party." As they prepared to deploy, the asteroid pulsed again, sending out waves of energy that interacted strangely with the ardent Voyager's bioorganic systems. Marcus felt the ship vibrate in sync with the asteroid's heartbeat. Stepping onto the asteroid's surface was like entering a new world, a strange landscape of crystalline forests and glowing rivers of energy. The air shimmered with life, alien yet familiar. The landing party moved cautiously, scanning the environment. Dr. Elkarn's scanner beeped rapidly. "Captain, the ecosystem is alive, connected and responsive. It's as if the entire asteroid is a single organism." Suddenly, the ground trembled. From the crystalline forests emerged beings of light and energy, their forms shifting like smoke in the wind. One stepped forward, its voice resonating directly in Marcus's mind. "Humans, children of chaos and creation, you have entered the heart of the architect's legacy. You are both welcome and warned." Marcus stepped forward, steady despite the awe. "We seek to understand and protect. The galaxy faces threats we cannot face alone." The being's form pulsed. "Then you must prove your worth. The balance of life and chaos is fragile. To wield this power is to accept responsibility." As the beings surrounded them, Marcus realized the mission was no longer just about survival or exploration. It was about becoming the guardians of a legacy older than any civilization known. Back aboard the ardent Voyager, Marcus felt the ship hum with renewed purpose. The ancient architects had chosen humanity for a reason, because only humans could walk the razor's edge between order and chaos. The journey through the dark zones was just beginning, and the fate of the galaxy might rest on the shoulders of one unpredictable species, and their bond with a starship that refused to fly without them. Marcus stood on the bridge of the ardent Voyager, staring at the live feed from the landing party on the asteroid. The crystalline forests shimmered under alien suns, casting iridescent glows across the strange landscape. The beings of light that had greeted them remained visible as faint outlines in the distance, their shifting forms both mesmerizing and unsettling. Commander Lyra turned to Marcus, concern shadowing her features. "Captain, the crew is tense, not just because of the dangers out there, but because of what this means." Marcus nodded slowly. "I know. We're not just explorers anymore. We're carrying a legacy and a responsibility that weighs heavily." The ancient architects had chosen humans, he thought, because only they balanced chaos and order in ways others couldn't. But with that choice came burdens many would never understand. Dr. Elkarn approached, holding a portable scanner loaded with new data. "Captain, I've been analyzing the ecosystem's energy patterns. It's unlike any biosphere we've encountered. Part organic, part technological, deeply interconnected." "Like a living computer," Marcus mused. "Exactly," Elkarn said. "And the beings of light? They're not just inhabitants. They're the asteroid's consciousness. It's a symbiotic system. Marcus studied the feed again. The beings seemed to communicate through pulses of energy, their glowing forms flickering in response to the landing party's movements. The landscape itself appeared to shift subtly, as if observing the intruders. Suddenly, a transmission crackled over the comm. Lyra's voice was urgent. "Captain, sensors are detecting an energy buildup beneath the surface. It's growing rapidly." "Could it be a defensive response?" Marcus asked. "Possibly. It feels like the asteroid is reacting to our presence." Marcus frowned. "We need to tread carefully. This place is alive, and it's testing us." Back on the asteroid, the landing party advanced cautiously. Marcus's voice came through their comms, steady and reassuring. "Remember, we're guests here. Observe, learn, but do not provoke." As they moved deeper into the crystalline forest, the energy pulses grew stronger. Dr. Elkarn's scanner beeped wildly, indicating rising bioorganic activity. "Captain, I'm detecting a core structure ahead. It might be the heart of this living system," she reported. The party reached a vast chamber at the asteroid's center, where a massive crystalline formation pulsed with radiant light. The beings of light gathered around it, their forms flickering in unison. The largest of the beings extended a tendril of energy toward Marcus. "You carry the spark of creation. To proceed, you must prove your intent." Marcus stepped forward, steady and calm. "We seek knowledge to protect the galaxy from threats that could consume us all." The tendril touched his chest, sending a wave of warmth and visions flooding his mind. Images of cosmic balance, of creation and destruction intertwined. He gasped, staggering but holding firm. The vision showed him not only the power held within the asteroid, but the fragile equilibrium it maintained. Back on the ardent Voyager, the tension was palpable. Some crew members whispered doubts. Could humans truly bear the responsibility? Was this mission a gamble with their lives and the galaxy's future? Marcus knew the doubts were real. Even among allies, fear of human unpredictability ran deep. That night, in his quarters, Marcus stared at a worn photo of his family on Earth. The weight of legacy pressed down on him. Humans, once divided and scattered, now chosen to hold the key to cosmic balance. The ardent Voyager's A. I spoke softly through the room. "Captain, your resilience and empathy align with the Architect's vision. You are becoming the living bridge between chaos and order." Marcus exhaled slowly. "It's more than a mission now. It's a calling." Suddenly the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared. The asteroid's energy pulses intensified, shaking the ship to its core. "Report!" Marcus demanded. Lyra's voice was strained. "Captain, the asteroid is destabilizing. Our presence may be causing a chain reaction." The AI warned. If the core collapses, it could trigger a release of energy devastating enough to destroy this sector. Marcus's mind raced. "We can't leave, not until we understand how to stabilize it." Dr. Elkarn suggested. "The asteroid's life force is connected to the crystalline core. Perhaps if we synchronize the ardent Voyager's bioorganic systems with the core, we can stabilize the energy." Marcus nodded. "Prepare the ship's energy matrix for synchronization. I'll pilot us close." As the ardent Voyager maneuvered nearer, Marcus felt the familiar hum of the ship merging with the asteroid's pulse. The connection deepened. Technology and life intertwined. With careful precision, he guided the ship's systems to resonate with the core's energy. The vibrations smoothed, the shaking lessened. Suddenly, the entire asteroid glowed with radiant light, a symphony of bioorganic and technological harmony. On the bridge, the crew gasped in awe. The ship's sensors stabilized, showing the asteroid returning to balance. Marcus smiled, feeling the immense power of unity, between humans and their ship, between life and machine, between chaos and order. As the light faded, the beings of light appeared again, their voices reverberating in the minds of all aboard. "You have proven your worth, Captain Marcus Reed. You and your crew embody the balance we sought. The Ardent Voyager is not just a vessel, but a guardian." Lyra approached Marcus, her expression softening. "You were right. Humans are the key." Marcus looked out at the stars beyond the asteroid. "This is just the beginning. The dark zones hold more secrets and more challenges. The Ardent Voyager was ready to face them all because it was piloted by the unpredictable, the resilient, the human." Marcus sat quietly in the cockpit, the glow from the ship's control panels casting soft light on his focused face. The Ardent Voyager had emerged from the living asteroid's embrace, the ship's systems humming steadily, their bioorganic components resonating in harmony with Marcus's very presence. Yet, despite the calm on the surface, tension filled the ship. The crew moved with purpose, but whispers of doubt and worry had not completely faded. Even with the ancient architect's voice affirming Marcus's worth, many still struggled to reconcile the notion that a single human pilot, and by extension, humanity, was the galaxy's key to survival. Lyra broke the silence, walking over to Marcus's seat. "Captain, the next sector is unlike anything we've seen so far. Our scans indicate a massive energy buildup, but it's cloaked in electromagnetic interference. It's likely another artifact or trap." Marcus nodded, his hands tightening briefly on the controls. "We've come too far to turn back now. Prepare for what's ahead. Everyone needs to be ready." The Ardent Voyager plunged deeper into the dark zones, the stars outside growing sparse, swallowed by cosmic dust and swirling nebulae. The silence was deafening, broken only by the soft hum of the ship's life support and the occasional beep of sensor readings. Suddenly, the sensors flared. The ship's AI announced, "Captain, detecting multiple unidentified vessels approaching rapidly." Marcus frowned. "Are they hostile?" "Unknown," the AI replied. "Their energy signatures match no known species in the Galactic Alliance database." On the bridge, the crew tensed. Lyra activated the tactical displays, bringing up the incoming vessels. They were sleek and dark, moving with precision and purpose. "Shields up," Marcus ordered. "Weapon systems on standby." As the unidentified ships closed in, a transmission burst through the static. A cold, mechanical voice spoke in an unfamiliar language, but the AI quickly translated. "You trespassers in the dark zones will be destroyed. Leave now or face annihilation." Marcus met Lyra's gaze. "We're not just trespassing. We're here to find answers and protect the galaxy." "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," Lyra said, fingers flying over the controls. The first ship fired, sending a blast that slammed into the Ardent Voyager's shields. The force rocked the ship, alarms blaring. "Return fire," Marcus commanded, eyes sharp. "Target their weapon arrays." The Ardent Voyager responded with precise bursts of energy, disabling one of the enemy vessels. The remaining ships closed ranks, their attacks growing more coordinated and deadly. Marcus felt the familiar surge of adrenaline. The chaos of battle was where humans often excelled, where unpredictability became an advantage. "Hard to starboard," he shouted. "Break their formation." The ship twisted through space, weaving between blasts. The AI worked in tandem with Marcus, predicting enemy movements but relying on his instinct for split-second decisions. The battle raged, the Ardent Voyager sustaining damage but holding its ground. After a tense standoff, the enemy ships broke off, retreating into the shadows. The crew exhaled collectively, tension easing but caution remaining. "Who were they?" Lyra asked. "Unknown," Marcus replied, "but they don't want us here, and they're dangerous." Dr. Elkarn stepped forward with new data. Captain, I've been analyzing energy signatures from the asteroid and the recent battle. There's a pattern. These forces seem connected, part of an ancient conflict that the architects tried to contain. Marcus absorbed the information. So the dark zones aren't just dangerous because of the environment. They're a battleground for old wars and old grudges. Exactly, Elkarn said, and we're caught in the middle. That night, Marcus stood on the observation deck, staring at the void beyond. The galaxy was larger and more complex than he had ever imagined. Humans, so often underestimated, were now the fulcrum upon which the fate of countless worlds balanced. The AI's voice was gentle. Captain, your leadership has strengthened the bond between the ardent Voyager and its legacy. But challenges lie ahead that will test even your unpredictability. Marcus smiled faintly. Bring them on. That's what humans do. The journey through the dark zones continued, fraught with peril and revelation. Marcus and his crew would face enemies old and new, confront ancient powers, and uncover truths that would change the very nature of the Galactic Alliance. Because in the end, it was not just a starship that refused to fly without a human at the controls. It was a testament to humanity's enduring spirit, its capacity to bring order through chaos, and its place among the stars. Marcus stared out the viewport of the ardent Voyager, watching the distant stars twinkle like scattered diamonds against the endless black. The dark zones had proven far more treacherous than anyone had predicted. Strange phenomena, hostile forces, and ancient enigmas tested not just their technology, but their resolve. The weight of command sat heavy on Marcus's shoulders. Being the only human pilot capable of unlocking the ship's full potential was a gift, and a burden. He felt it in every vibration of the ardent Voyager, in every system that responded to his touch as if he were the ship's heartbeat. The bridge was quiet, save for the soft hum of engines and occasional beeps from sensor arrays. Commander Lyra was beside him, her expression unreadable, but her eyes sharp. "We've scanned the area ahead," she said softly. "There's a massive structure, ancient but still active. It's emitting energy signatures similar to those we saw at the asteroid." Marcus nodded. "Could it be another relic, or something worse?" "Both," she replied. "Sensors are picking up defensive systems. Whatever's there doesn't want visitors." "Prepare the crew," Marcus said. "We're going in." The ardent Voyager altered course, moving toward the shadowed structure that loomed ahead like a forgotten god adrift in space. The starship's bioorganic systems thrummed in tune with Marcus's determination. As they approached, the massive outline came into view, a sprawling complex of metal and crystal, its surface etched with alien runes glowing faintly. It was both beautiful and ominous, a relic of an ancient civilization whose purpose had been lost to time. Suddenly, the ship's sensors flared with warnings. An electromagnetic pulse surged through space, shaking the ardent Voyager. Shields flared, systems flickered. "Incoming attack!" Lyra shouted. "Enemy vessels decloaking!" From the shadows emerged sleek, angular ships, black as void itself. Their design was alien, hostile, efficient. The ardent Voyager braced for battle. Marcus gripped the controls, adrenaline sharpening his senses. "Evasive maneuvers! Return fire!" The battle erupted in a burst of light and sound, energy weapons blazing through the void. The ardent Voyager danced through the chaos, Marcus's instincts guiding it beyond the predictable paths the AI calculated. Despite their best efforts, the enemy pressed hard. The ship shook under bombardment, warning alarms blaring. "Captain, shields at 30%, Lyra reported, weapon systems holding." Marcus's mind raced. This was no random attack. It was a test, a challenge. The enemy knew who they were dealing with and sought to break them. "Focus fire on their lead ship," Marcus ordered. Disable their command and disrupt their coordination. The ardent Voyager responded, unleashing concentrated blasts that tore through the enemy's formation. One by one, the hostile ships faltered and retreated into the darkness. As silence returned, Marcus took a deep breath, sweat beading on his brow. "Damage report," he demanded. "Minor hull breaches," Lyra said. "Shield stabilizing. No casualties." Marcus allowed himself a brief moment of relief before turning to the task at hand. "We need to know who they are and why they're guarding this structure." Dr. Elkarn's voice came over the comms. "Captain, the runes on the structure match those from the derelict and the asteroid. It's all connected, part of a larger network." Marcus frowned. "A network of ancient power." "Exactly," Elkarn confirmed. "The architects created a system to protect knowledge and maintain balance. But something went wrong. Something the Alliance never understood." The ship's AI added, "Captain, I recommend sending a probe to analyze the structure further." Marcus nodded. "Prepare a probe, and ready the landing party. We're going back down." As the probe transmitted data, the crew prepared for the next phase, an exploration that could reveal the truth behind the architect's legacy and the forces that sought to destroy it. Hours later, Marcus stood once more on an alien surface. The complex's interior was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, alive with faint energy pulses. The air was thick with anticipation. The landing party moved cautiously, every shadow a potential threat. Deep inside the structure, they discovered a vast chamber housing a crystalline core, pulsating with an eerie light. Marcus approached, feeling the familiar pull, the connection between the ship, the architects, and humanity's role. Suddenly the chamber trembled. A voice echoed, ancient and powerful. "You who bear the spark of chaos, you are tested. Will you protect the balance or let darkness consume all?" Marcus met the challenge, his voice steady. "We will protect it, no matter the cost." The chamber's light flared, and a vision unfolded, of galaxies in conflict, of creation and destruction entwined in endless dance. The legacy of the architects was clear. Humanity was not merely a passenger in the cosmos, but a guardian chosen to navigate the razor's edge between chaos and order. Returning to the ardent Voyager, Marcus felt the enormity of their mission deepen. The dark zones were a crucible, and they were its flame. As the ship prepared to leave, the AI spoke softly. "Captain, your unpredictability is your strength. It is what the architects foresaw." Marcus looked ahead to the stars, the vast unknown waiting. "Then we'll face it head on, because that's what it means to be human." The ardent Voyager sailed through the void, its engines glowing softly against the backdrop of endless stars. The battles were behind them for now, but the journey, Marcus knew, was far from over. What they had discovered in the dark zones was more than ancient technology or lost civilizations. It was a testament to humanity's unpredictable spirit, their capacity to tip the balance between chaos and order. Back on the bridge, Marcus stood with Commander Lyra and Dr. Elkarn, watching the stars drift past. "We faced impossible odds," Lyra said quietly, "and yet here we are." Marcus smiled, feeling a calm settle over him. "The ardent Voyager chose me for a reason. It needed a pilot who could embrace the unpredictable, someone who could make choices no machine or logic-driven mind could." Dr. Elkarn nodded. "The ancient architects embedded a part of themselves in this ship, but only humanity could awaken it. Our legacy is tied to yours now." The AI's voice came through, gentle but resolute. "Captain, the bond between you and the ardent Voyager has evolved beyond design. Together you embody the balance the galaxy needs." Marcus looked out at the stars, the vast, dark ocean of space filled with endless possibilities and challenges. He felt the weight of history on his shoulders, but also a fierce hope. "We're not just explorers or soldiers," Marcus said softly. "We're guardians. Humanity's unpredictability isn't a weakness, it's our greatest strength. And this ship, it's a symbol of that." Lyra smiled, a rare warmth in her eyes. "Then let's make sure the galaxy knows it." The ardent Voyager surged forward, a beacon of hope and defiance in the darkness. Piloted by the one species the universe underestimated, it carried a legacy that no enemy could extinguish. Because sometimes, the wildest, most unpredictable spark is exactly what the cosmos needs to light the way.